Money Vikings, Money Viking G here. Happy weekend, everybody. Wanted to go through a important one today. I want to share with you the 4 assets that I will never sell. And these are things that I think are important to keep in mind, or this concept is important to keep in mind as we navigate upcoming turbulence. So we do have the incoming tariffs that have been launched and, trade war type things going on. And it's just a sense out there that there's going to be some economic volatility on the horizon. So given that, what does a, normal average middle class wealth builder do in order to sort of secure what you've built and then to grow and build upon it? And we do have to continue to grow even through turbulent times, because the fact of the matter is turbulent times can create more inflation and can make things cost more. And what ends up happening is that just erodes your wealth over time. So let's get right into it. So let's go to 4 assets that I will never sell. So the first one is probably pretty predictable. The 4th one is going to blow your mind, but first ones you probably will be like, all right, whatever. So anyway, the first one is real privately owned real estate. So I still believe that there is a place in a portfolio for rental properties, a rental property here and there, whatever it might be. Do I think these are perfect investments? No, I don't. And they are not passive. They do take work. I have found it very similar to running a small business. When you are owning and operating personal real estate assets and you are managing tenants and you're managing maintenance and you're managing the all the costs and the taxes and the accounting that goes into it, it is not totally passive. There can be passive periods. There can be times where all you're really doing is collecting a rental check, and those are really nice times when they happen. But there are those times when the roof leaks, the toilet gets clogged, the refrigerator breaks, a tenant leaves or tenants leave and the carpets need to be replaced, or whatever it might be. Things happen. They have to be taken care of. But in the long run, when a piece of property is in a somewhat reasonable, safe place, in terms of what I mean by safety, I mean, you're owning property in a reasonably good area. You have rule of law. You have, it's something that's desirable. It's a place that's desirable to people, their jobs. Not all real estate is created equal by any means. Of course, there are bad real estate investments. But I do believe over the long run, people, for the most part, make money off of real estate. And you can look at many of our videos on our blog and on our YouTube channel about real estate investing, and you can get all kinds of information about how to get started, how to do that, etc. Okay, so that's one asset that I will not sell, most likely will not sell. It appreciates in value and it creates income. And the ability to create income from something like that is extremely valuable. All right, so that's number 1. The second type of asset that I will never sell, and when I say never sell, I will draw income off these things, but I'll probably never clear out completely the investment. I should make that clear. The second thing I'll mention is a diversified portfolio of your bread and butter ETFs and funds, something very much like the S&P 500, a SPY, a VOO, a VDADX, a VIG. There's examples in Fidelity and Schwab, TD Ameritrade, TD, whatever. There's so many examples, Vanguard, et cetera, et cetera. But a standard low-cost ETF that is self-cleansing and invests in the 500 strongest companies in America is something I will probably never completely sell. Will I sell chunks of it for lifestyle things, to buy a new car at some point, to draw off some income each month? Yes, of course. But will I ever take the total amount and all the shares and completely sell them? No, I plan on never doing that. So there's a couple of reasons for that. I think you have to definitely bet on America long term. You have to understand that investment vehicle is self-cleansing. It's very hard to pick individual stocks. It cleans itself, etc. So that is just absolutely paramount. Okay. The third investment that I want to talk about that or investment category that I want to talk about that I will probably never sell, and that is Bitcoin. So here's the rationale. I believe that over the long run, we are in an environment where there will be, there is a debt crisis that is unfolding or looming or coming, whatever you want to say. The society, the countries have gotten way too far into debt. In order to deal with that, you have to grow your way out while trying to cut it in some ways. These are not easy things to do. There's a lot of, there's a lot of things that can push against those forces, of course. And the debt can spiral out of hand because of, compounding works in terms of owning an asset and making money off of it, compounding. But it also, compounding works against you when paying off huge amounts of debt as well, where you can't even keep up with how much the debt is exploding. So enter Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, finite supply, as many of you know, if you watch my channel, I talk a lot about Bitcoin. Finite supply, 21 million ever, probably 5, I'm estimating here, there's estimates out there, probably 5 million lost forever, 6 million lost forever. That brings you down to about 16 million. There's about 1.5 million still to be mined, not many. So maybe there's a supply of 15 million Bitcoin. It's really not that much. The whales and big countries are scooping it up. There's probably going to be a Bitcoin strategic reserve of some kind or some form in the United States. They're going to scoop up a bunch. So the point being, that is a finite investment product asset. And I believe it's something that people should hold for the long run. And I plan on holding it for the long run. Again, like the other investments, will I sell little bits and pieces, when I need to, put a new roof on my house, or again, pay for a child's tuition or college or whatever it might be. There might be some drawdowns like that, but in general, I want to always hold some of this asset over the long run. I think it is quite critical. So that is the third asset that I will never completely sell or get rid of. Okay, the fourth one's going to be a little controversial. It is a cash position. So, not a big fan of cash, generally speaking, but the reality is, the way the world works, we do at the moment need some cash. You need some cash set aside, and people traditionally are calling this an emergency fund. Will I ever sell the emergency fund? No. Will I use it if there's an emergency? Yes, of course, that's what it's for. But that fund plays a couple of different roles, okay? So first of all, it plays the role of, if there is an emergency, like car breaks down, have to get, somewhere quickly to help a loved one to, across the country, or a friend, whatever. There's something that's coming that's emergent, wasn't in the budget, wasn't in the planned monthly expenses, but you got to do it now. It can come out of those funds, all right? That's the first thing. The second thing I will say about a cash position, and this is where the Buffett side of me comes out, is that is the best way to be prepared for massive opportunities, okay? Massive opportunities are those types of opportunities that happen, for example, around the time of the Great Recession, right? During the Great Recession, 2008, 2009 sort of time frame, 2010, housing prices completely collapsed. You had houses that might have sold, a couple years prior for, let's just say, maybe $200,000, that were within months selling. You could not sell them for $70,000. Okay. In hindsight, wow, if you had cash, it would have been such an amazing time to pick up those assets on discount. Another example is, let's say when 9/11 hit, I believe this is true, the S&P 500 completely collapsed, right? Wow, that would have been, again, those companies are going to be fine. Yes, it was a national tragedy, national emergency, etc. But it was an overreaction. Everything crashes. If you could have scooped up, if you had $50,000 laying around at that time, and you could buy $50,000 in the S&P 500, the day after, you would have had an amazing return from that point forward. These are black swan events. The reality of life and the world is that they happen. The last example is a pandemic. Not a lot of people saw a pandemic coming. So that is why at some level, I will never sell a certain amount of a cash position. So those are the 4 assets I will never sell. Please like, subscribe, share, and all that great stuff as we grow the channel, and appreciate every single one of you very much for watching. God bless you. And I hope you are doing well. I hope you are building wealth, staying healthy, staying positive, taking care of your friends and family, being kind to each other. Thank you. Goodbye.